Okay. I did a video down here probably a year ago of my old church shoemaker and the parsonage, which you're looking at right now. I think it's a shame it's fallen in so bad. I remember the 1960s and the 1970s coming here. Look at that. That roof is completely in on that parsonage. If you can see the daylight inside. I'm not out of my car this time because Lily complained last time that I walked around, that I guess she thought I was going to hurt it or something. All the windows knocked out. Shoemaker EUB Church. It's just a damn shame. I remember a lot of what it was, and it isn't anymore. I believe the last time I came around, these doors were wide open and I was able to film inside. You can see how the ceiling's down in there on the first floor. Cornerstone's been broken out. City needs to tear it down. This was my church, the place I went. And I would have rather seen it tore down before ever seeing it in this condition. Now, through the one little window up there, I see daylight, so the roof's in on the church too. It's a damn shame. When I used to go here, there was a house right here. Now it's an empty lot. My old church is probably going to fall in on itself. Maybe get to see some of my neighborhood, some that used to be my neighborhood. Look at that. More abandoned homes. I don't know what's better, having them abandoned or having them tore down. Used to live in this block here on Bailey. We lived at 1909. That's now an empty lot. There was a church here called the Valentine Church in an empty lot across the street. At least it was called the Valentine Church when I was living down here. And that little gray garage back there, my grandfather built. I'm glad to see it still survives. Oh, I remember all the people's names. But what a shame. Homes are boarded up. There's a roadway through right there in the back, which looks like it's impassable anymore. This is something. I don't want to make neighbors mad at me. I'm not trying to film, anybody's homes where they're living in. These three look totally empty. And as a little kid, we lived where this empty lot is. It was 1909 Bailey Avenue. And this park, which is over here now, when I was a little kid growing up, they were an electrical supply company. And this red brick building here, that was a salon for ladies to go to and get their hair done. Look how bad the homes are. I imagine it's expensive to tear them down, but I don't think anybody's going to come back into these homes. I really don't. This one, the whole front porch is gone. This one, the roof is down in on the front porch. I would say this one's empty too, by the look of it. Gee, the last three. That's empty. That's empty. And this is empty. Even the little one floor house right there is empty. When I grew up down here, all these houses had people in them. That looks like an empty. So does that. Both sides of the street. We could do an episode here of Life After People. Seriously. Hey, it'd be a way for the city to make money. We could do an episode of Life After People. You know, what it's like 20 years later when people just up and leave. Empty lots. Empty buildings. That building still looks... No, the doors are boarded. I was going to say it still looks inhabited, but the doors are boarded up. Used to be a store in there when I used to walk to and from school. This is a shame, being like this. I'm probably moving my camera around too fast. It's just a damn shame. All empty lots, mostly empty homes, and to look at them, it's a damn shame. I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah, they're empty going down that street too. This is Converse. Another empty. This building here was empty before I graduated high school. No one living in it. But back then it still had some paint on it. That was in 1979. Look at these over here, if you can see them. I don't know how good I'm doing with my camera here. Seriously, why doesn't Mckeesport make a phone call to, who would they call at HBO, and say, hey, why don't you just come here and do an episode of Life After People? See what it really looks like 20 to 30 years after everybody is, look at that, got AIDS. Kind of like the old got milk signs. I know it's not too easy in my car to really see everything. This is just a shame that this all needs tore down. I mean, these whole blocks need ripped down. They're all empty. There's a big building here on the left. And this is another empty. But this isn't the building I'm talking about. Sorry to be so shaky. Roof's caving in. Everything knocked out. There's a spare tire if you want it. Anybody want a spare tire? This red brick building is the one I was starting to talk about. I remember the 60s and early 70s, people living there. I don't know if I can get you a view of the whole thing. I remember we'd walk by here going to school, because Jenny Lynn Street's right here. And not just this home, but other homes, people will be out in the warm weather on their lawn chairs and stuff. Now nobody here, no one cares. I'd love to see that building restored. But no one wants to come into this town and do anything, and I don't blame them. There is the old garage, which was the horse carriage at one time. The center window up top, where the fire escape goes up to. When I was little, they had what would be an I-beam that came out up there with a winch on it with a rope, and they would take hay up into the top. It was a hay loft for the horse or two that they had at the time. Hard to believe that was the 1960s, but in the 1960s we still had Jeffers Hay and Feed. Ain't it something? There's 3 more houses in that block. Totally empty. They need ripped down. There's nothing left to do but rip them down. Maybe flying a little napalm, let it burn out and start all over again. That corner house is empty. I think the next one in's empty too. This camera's going to shake all over the place. This brick street is bumpy as hell. And I've probably shaken it real bad to start with, and that I apologize for. There's the electrical, I don't know what to call it, transfer pumping station for electric or transformers or what. But I know in the 50 years I've lived up here, I've seen it on fire twice. Here's our wonderful Riverview Park. Ain't it wonderful? Riverview Park. Yeah, we'll get you a view out the front window. That big empty lot right there, which we're coming up to, used to be Rural D Dairy. There's an alley right there with a wall in it that separated the dairy. Their trucks used to load up in the alley into the two buildings, which was here and over there. But that's the old alley that was there. I called it an alley. I think it was there just where they backed their trucks in to deliver, but it went all the way to the alley, to Pope Alley up there. Long time ago. Hard to believe that 40 years is so long ago. Well, more than that, the 70s. Empty homes again. Totally empty homes. I remember when this block over here was full of homes. And look at this. That is a shame. How can you expect anybody to come around here and want to rebuild? Okay, straight ahead. I call them Menzie Dairy Estates. Menzie Dairy went from this street, which name escapes me at the moment. You used to be able to drive straight through here. They don't allow you anymore, but these are all homes where Menzie Dairy was. And I'll do a loop around it. This was all Menzie Dairy when I grew up. That was all Menzie. We were up at this corner.